women in South Asia. We have 8,000 members across 17 chapters pan-India, with a history of 36 years as women empowerment initiatives that we've taken, and Flow has tried to evolve to be responsive and responsible in need of the current situations. Our objective has been to encourage women to showcase their talents across all levels. We work with women as entrepreneurship in development programs to help women set up their own businesses and to promote women in board and corporate positions. Today, Flow is privileged to welcome Women on Wings on board. We are happy to partner them to ensure sustainable livelihood for women in India. This partnership can play a critical role in view of the societal and economic unrest in the country and in the world now for COVID-19. It's the reality of today that a big migrant population has moved back to the villages and to the small towns. And this is going to be an ongoing phenomenon for quite some time ahead. So we would like to be able to give our bit to the country, to be able to help and work in the grassroots as well. And we can't do it without the expertise of a partner such as Women on Wings. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Ronald van Hethoff, Managing Director of Women on Wings. He has been working as an expert volunteer at Women on Wings and supported the growth of many Indian social enterprises based on his rich management experience, along with his professional career in the Benelux. May I welcome Mr. Ronald and ask you to tell us about your organization and tell us about this collaboration that we have in mind with Flow. Mr. Ronald van Hethoff, please.
Thank you very much, Janabi, and thank you for hosting us today. We are very privileged that we can sign the MoU today with Vicky Flow. I really admire your power already that you have shown in that 1 week that you are now heading Vicky Flow. It's amazing, and I think it's very promising for the future. Your desire, your conviction to really make things happen, and that really encourages us. And I think that matches perfectly with the way how Women on Wings is working. And I'm really happy that today we formally can join hands. And although we have to do it today virtually, so we haven't met face to face, but this is part of the new normal. We have to accept it, and despite this new normal, we are able to kickstart our collaboration by today. So I'm really happy that we can move forward from today onwards. So thank you very much for your kind words. And I think what brings us together is that we both aim for better livelihood, creation of jobs for women in rural India. And not just skilling or just training, it's about creating sustainable livelihoods for women in rural India. At least our focus is on rural India. Your focus probably a little bit broader, but we join hands in our joint endeavor to really achieve social impact, sustainable social impact for women in rural India. And what you rightly said, I think in these days of COVID-19, where probably there's a kind of a throwback of 10 to 20 years in time, it's utterly and even more important that we join hands to co-create this sustainable change in livelihood for women. So I'm really happy to be here today, and again very privileged, and yeah, I'm a happy man today, again surrounded by many women. That's a fact of my life, because I've been surrounded in all jobs that I did working with women, and I'm happy today being surrounded again by a lot of Vicky Flow people, and I really look forward to collaborate with all the different partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. May I ask, IT, we have a little token of gratitude since we can't meet in the physical space. I would request IT to please show us a little memento that we have for Mr. Ronald from Flow. IT, please. Yes. And thank you, IT. We would like, oh, yes. This will be sent to you, Mr. Ronald, in due course. Now
Oh,
we,
thank you.
yeah. So
Thank you
that's
very much.
as a
Yes,
gesture
thank
from
you.
us. And since we are unable to meet and physically sign the document, I understand that my team has put something together to show this virtual signing of the document. IT, can I have
Okay,
that, please? Would you like to show us that,
wonderful.
IT? Yes.
Wonderful. That's really great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice. I really love it.
Thank
Yes,
you. Yes, we're
yes,
trying to get a little creative here as we get along in the new normal.
yes, exactly. That's really good. That's the right spirit.
Yes,
Yes.
we are. Now, would you like to tell us something more about your organization, Ronald, on this collaboration? Or should we also invite in Supriya now? How would we go about
Um,
it?
yeah, well, I sent a presentation
I see.
um,
So
with
there's a presentation.
some slides and 3-minute introductory video about the work that we have done so far.
I see. I see.
That's our Women on Wings lady.
Okay. All right. Oh, good.
She's already for more than 12 years.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, yes. If we can click on this link, then we can show short corporate video that gives an impression of the work that we are doing.
I see.
Even before the sun rises, women begin the day's activities. They form the backbone of rural communities, fetching water, doing the laundry, cleaning, preparing food. And for many women, it's a daily struggle for
Let me see. Yes.
That was
Okay. I hope that gave a little bit of an impression why we work with women in rural India and what keeps us running every day.
very, very
Well,
interesting. Yes.
uh, shall I take you quickly through the presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what you could see in the movie, why women, I think that's 100% clear because women are the backbone of the future. When we are able to create an income for women, it will benefit the family, it will benefit the kids, better education, better nutrition. I mean, and it's a pity that I have to tell it as a man, but if the money comes in the hand of the man, they will drink it or gamble or spoil it in another way. That's why women are the backbone of the organization for us. By rural India, it's a growing, the middle class is growing, but still the largest unemployment is in rural India. So if we are able to co-create jobs with social enterprises in rural India, actually we avoid migration to the larger cities. And we strongly believe that if we are able to to create small economies in rural India, all the other facilities like healthcare, like education will flow to these parts as well, and people can take ownership. Next slide, please. Why women? I think I don't have to tell people from Vicky Flow why women. They are the backbone. Schooling is important for rural girls. It's I think what we see with many organizations we work with. A lot of our organizations we work with actually are in agriculture or in handicraft handloom. What you see that a lot of people and the women we work with actually have got this job by default because it was from generation on generation. Now, when they get a sustainable income, they give their children the opportunity to have a proper education. So the next generation will have choices what they can do with their life, and they won't be by default either farmer or a weaver or stitcher or whatever. Next slide, please. Um, why do we focus on small medium enterprises? Actually, if you look at small medium enterprises, they are the missing middle in the organizations. You see a lot of very small micro enterprises. And of course, micro enterprises can evolve into small enterprises, and small enterprises can grow into medium enterprises. But actually, this is the missing middle in India. Corporates are acting very much in the larger areas, in the metro cities, and there's not enough scope to develop businesses in the smaller rural areas. That's why we focus on the SMEs in rural India. Next, please. Well, we work across India. There is no limitation for us except from Jammu and Kashmir, which is a red zone for us because of safety. But for the rest, we work across India, and where you can see the stars on the map, these are the countries, these are the states and the places where we work currently with our business partners. We will share this presentation with you, so you can share it amongst your people. So you don't need to make notes. We will share it. How we work. Women on Wings works as a business accelerator. We work very closely with social enterprises. And for us, it's important that we have a partnership. Like we build a partnership now with Vicky Flow. We also have partnerships with our social enterprises. We don't believe that we can change them overnight or just do an assessment of the organizations, write a beautiful report and write down 20 recommendations. That won't work, because what we have seen is that actually the implementation of all the recommendation is failing. And that's why we sign up for at least 3 years with social enterprises, that we support them, handhold them for at least 3 years, so that we are sure that what we advise is also implemented. And it's important, and we work with experts from the Netherlands. It's important that we don't come to these enterprises to tell them what they have to do, because that doesn't work. We strongly believe in ownership and accountability. That means that we have always interactive workshops, and now they are online, but normally we are 2 to 3 days with the social entrepreneur, with his team on the spot where the business is happening. And we challenge these enterprises and these entrepreneurs to think in a different way. But in the end, it's very, very important for us that every decision which is taken by the entrepreneur himself, him or herself, because otherwise there's no ownership, and again, implementation will fail. So we strongly believe in ownership and accountability. As I just mentioned you, we work with 50 plus experts in the Netherlands. These are all experienced professionals. We have a very stringent recruitment because out of 100, only 30 to 40 are good enough for us to work for us. They work as volunteers, so they give their free time to us. But to really know that their commitment is right, they have to pay their first international ticket themselves. So that really shows that they are really dedicated to work with Women on Wings and to support these social enterprises. How do we work? What do we do? Actually, we work with social enterprises across the whole value chain of business. It's about business development. It's about business acceleration. So it's about looking at the market trends. It's about planning, business planning. It's about how can we improve your production? How can we work on the marketing and sales? How do we identify your customer groups? What about distribution? What about quality management? Everything is covered by us. Wherever required, we have experts available. Next, please. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, I think that's also important. The entrepreneur herself also gets mentoring and hand-holding from our side as well. Important for us is that on one hand, we have the Dutch experts coming in, and we have our Indian team where we have Indian account managers. And the Indian account managers are actually the spider in the web between the Dutch experts and the Indian social enterprise, because they have to identify and they are in constant touch with our entrepreneurs to find out what is the need of the day, what do they need now. Last month we did a workshop on sales and marketing. What has been implemented? She's doing the follow-up. She makes sure that implementation takes place and discusses with the entrepreneur what is the next step for intervention. What is the next step to professionalize your organization, to scale your organization? Priya, who is here in the call as well, and who was in touch with Janabi, is one of our consultants who is also account manager for social enterprises. So far, we have co-created in the past 12 years 278,000 jobs, where we also look at how many children have gone to school, how many women have been empowered, and how many livelihoods have been improved. It's because the women are part of the family, and I think it's also important, and well, I don't have to tell you, as Vicky Flo, that it's so important when a woman gets a job. It's not only the income, but it's also about equality in the family, equality in the community. It gives so much more esteem and respect to the woman that it works on so many different sustainable development goals, which is not only about poverty or hunger, but it's also about equality in the family, in the community. So this is what we have realized so far. In this slide, is a snapshot of our current business partners, what we have done in the last year. So for instance, with Avani, which you can see, we have been working this year on the HR, on the team building, how to create an effective team in the organization. The year before, we have been working on the business, on the business in natural dyes. We made the whole business plan for it. If you look at the other side, GVK, who is in food and agri, we worked on supply chain management. We mapped the whole supply chain process, identified the bottlenecks, and improved the whole supply chain of different verticals of that organization. Safe Harvest, we worked on the business strategy for the Golden Circle. We worked on communication and branding. And if you look now at Safe Harvest, on their communication, you can see that it's very much about healthy foods and women empowerment. That's what we brought in, and they are focused now very much on women empowerment as well. So when you get the presentation or you look at our annual reports, we report on the business partners, what we have done and what has been the impact. You can read the testimonials from our business partners, what they think of the collaboration of Women on Wings. We are very proud, and we feel very, we are so happy that we can work with these highly committed entrepreneurs who share the same goal as we do. And the fact that we share the same goal means that we can change so much, because there is actually there's no difference in what we want to achieve. There's no discussion about what we want to achieve and how we set the priorities. The only thing we do is that we support them in getting their business in the right direction, and to put them and to keep them focused on what they want to achieve. Because a lot of you are entrepreneurs yourself, and entrepreneurs have hundreds of ideas every day, and you easily can get distracted by, oh yes, that's a great idea, and then probably you get distracted from where you were aiming for. So we keep them on track, we keep them focused, that we achieve the goal that we have set in the beginning. To close, so probably one step back, the way we work with the entrepreneurs is that we have a few different ways of working. Actually, till early 2018, we did all our consultancy pro bono. That's in a way that worked well, but on the other hand, it was nice in the time that we worked only actually with NGOs. But now, since we work with social enterprises, we feel that we should ask also a little bit skin in the game from the entrepreneur, which means that we don't ask market conform fees. We only ask a small contribution to our costs, just to have skin in the game. It's not an earning model for us, but it gives more, also from our side, it also asks from us more skin in the game, timely delivery, even probably better and better consultancy, but small fee just to have that working. So since we are now since 2007 active in India. Since 2013 we have an office in India. I've been running that office since 2013. I've been living in India for the past 6 years. Since last year, I had to change a little bit because we got some grandchildren, etc. So I have to balance a little bit better family life and working life. So when we get back to normal, I'm every month in India for 2 or 3 weeks. Visiting, working in India, working with the enterprises as well. And we have a small team in the Netherlands, 3 people. We have a small team in India where we have business consultants. We have since February 2020, since a few months, we have a community platform where we bring access to finance, access to market together for our partners, where we have peer-to-peer learning. So we are still working on improving our organization as well. And this is our pride, our queen, Maxima of the Netherlands. She's She's UN Secretary General Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development. And she was our guest of honor at our 5th anniversary in the Netherlands. And she really favors our work, and she supports us whenever she can in promoting our work across the globe. Well, actually, I think that's what I wanted to tell. Supriya, did I forget anything?
No, Ronald, I think you mentioned pretty much everything, and I think you've also talked about the platform a little bit. Maybe if time permits, it could be a good idea to talk about the platform a little bit more in detail and also to show it.
Right. Yes, I'll be happy to do that. The only thing is, how can I show the platform? Because I don't have a share.
Mhm.
Can I share my screen, or I don't
You
think
are
so.
on the screen. Is it a continuation of the slide?
No, 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 no. Then I have to go to the actual platform.
I see.
I have to go to the website.
Oh, okay. Then
Maybe you could just talk about it, and if the IT team can enable that.
Right.
Yes.
In
So
the meanwhile, it would be great.
you can share the screen, please.
Can share the screen?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. I can probably share content. Right. Okay. Let me quickly start up.
Okay.
It's
That
here.
is very, very interesting. We look forward to seeing this.
Yes.
Thank you for the great learning. Meantime,
You can see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So actually, this is our new platform. We launched it very much in time, just before this COVID-19 crisis on the 11th of February in Delhi. So we are very, very happy that we launched it. Actually, what we want to achieve with this platform is that we identified 3 basic needs of our social enterprises, social entrepreneurs. One is access to finance, the second one is access to market, and the third one is access to mentoring. And we had a few sessions a few years ago with an external consultancy organization and a few of our business partners to brainstorm about how can we improve our service and our collaboration with our business partners. Keeping in mind that nowadays we are in a time where IT enabled support actually is very efficient. That's how we came to the idea of creating a platform where we should bring access to finance, access to market, and access to mentoring together. So we invited all our business partners, all our prospect business partners, actually all each and every social enterprise which works towards creation of employment for women in rural India can be part of this platform as a member. They can get access to the platform and they can join our community. And they can learn also what Women on Wings is doing and what we bring to the table. But probably even more important is that we have a lot of peer-to-peer learning, sharing from peer-to-peer, because actually, if you look at our business partners, as I mentioned earlier, most of them are in food and agri or in textiles and handicrafts. Some of them in non-timber forest produce, like Tamu plates in Barpeta. But more 95% is actually in 2 sectors. So there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning and peer-to-peer sharing as well. Because what we believe is that nowadays it's not about, well, if you look at all the NGOs were more about EGOs, about egos. It was about me and how can I get as many awards as possible. But with social enterprises, it's about how can we work in networks. There's for
Yes.
me, for me, there's no competition in social between social enterprises. The only thing we can look for is how can we collaborate, how can we strengthen our activities, and how can we find synergies in creating impact. That's the only way forward for social enterprises. That's what we believe as Women on Wings. And this platform should enable that as well. We believe in collaboration, and this community should bring uh, all the partners and all future partners as members together. We also, if you look at the members, I will show you here. We have ambassadors, which are well, it's pretty new. We are looking for ambassadors, but probably, for instance, Janabi, you could be one of the ambassadors in the future. We have our board members. We have all our experts are here. So they are all here with their expertise. You can click uh, on their profile and see that Antoine, he's an entrepreneur himself. His expertise is in business strategy, and he's in agricultural and food technology. So all our 50 experts are here on the platform. Um, finance partners, finance partners like Eunice, like Caspian, Upaya, Skarma, Truvalu, Exim Bank are partners which are on the platform. You can immediately, if you're a partner of the platform, you can reach out immediately. All the contact details are there. Partners can reach out immediately, can drop questions, whatever they can do, they can reach out immediately. If you look at access to market partners, that's work in progress, but the first partner we have is Flipkart. Well, in the new normal, um, and they have this special Smart, Flipkart Smart, um, which is which is specially designed for the social enterprises, for the handloom, handicraft. And Flipkart Smart designed a special program for partners of Women on Wings, where they get a 6-month support in onboarding, in getting the right pictures, etc., etc. GoGoWop, it's another partner. Well, actually, he's business partner, but he's also an access to market partner who is working with handloom and handicraft organizations. They organize webinars, seminars now to onboard as many as social enterprises in the handloom and handicraft sector to give them a platform online to reach out to the market. Then we have all the social enterprise partners which are there. We have around 42 partners at this moment where we actively work with. All the details are there. Partners can reach out to the partners, can share, can ask. Well, I think that's very important for us to work on. Well, as I told you, we started at the 11th of February, so we are improving every day. By the 1st of June, we will have a platform community manager who will actively start working on creating more engagement on the platform. Every day there is a new stream on the homepage. So today it's about the signing of the MoU. There's also a webinar from GoCoop, which is posted here. We started last week a series of 5 webinars on every Friday now. Last Friday we had a webinar on fundraising. All the leads and everything will be published here on the platform as well. The PPT is there, the Excel sheet with all the leads is there. Coming Friday, we will have a webinar on social media and social selling. because social media and social selling becomes more and more important for all enterprises, because IT and e-commerce is the way forward, at least because many more customers got familiar with e-commerce in the past 2 months during the lockdown. So we have to think of new strategies, new kind of ideas, how to use social media in the future as well. Um, so there is news from Moral Fiber, one of our partners, about Kadi, our own team meeting. Of course, we also share about our work. This is from a partner who is looking for production for these kind of products. So who can make these kind of products? And they ask for quotation. So many things are there. So that's in a snapshot, I think, what I wanted to tell about the platform. Priya, did I forget anything?
No, Ronald, I think you've kind of covered everything.
I think so. Yeah. So I think for us, this is the future as well.
I think it'll be good to take questions from people who've been watching from the various state chapters and understand, what they'd like to have more clarification or more detail on.
Yes, please. Happy to
I would
take
like to now thank Ronald. Ronald, that was absolutely fascinating. And I'm so glad that we've met at a time when we have COVID upon us. Besides excellent work that you've been doing so far, the fact that you all have so quickly gone into the new normal and been trying to come up with this collaboration and the way you're going to work with your partners going ahead, and the fact that we both conscious about the COVID-19 situation around us and working to improve lives around that. So it really couldn't have come at a better time, and we feel extremely, privileged to have met and want to take this forward. So thank you very, very much. And I would like to, have Supriya speak to us first, and let me introduce Supriya to the team, to all of us at the chapter. Supriya Kapoor, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Supriya Kapoor, because it is Supriya who was my first point of contact and how we got talking after, we had met, I think, years ago when she put up this interesting enterprise called Tamil Plates in Assam. And now with Supriya as a senior business consultant of Women on Wings. And we are waiting before we have a lot of questions for her, but let me start with one question for you, Supriya. Though Ronald has explained a lot to us, is that all the partners that you've taken along over the years, how are you supporting them now in this new scenario, in this new normal? How are you going about that? And we look forward to learning more about it, Supriya.
So, Janvi, that's a very interesting question because, Ronald talked about the platform coming in at a very opportune time. But, the interesting part is that the cornerstone of our approach has been long-term and on-the-ground support to our partners, because we believe in providing very customized kind of support, because we believe that a cookie-cutter approach doesn't work, and if we really want to create real and sustainable change, it has to be customized and on the ground. So when you say on the ground, this means a very significant number of face-to-face meetings and visits to our partner. But that's not going to happen now, and we were very clear that this inability to travel should not hinder our support, especially because it's this time that it's needed the most, considering that most of our partners are, micro and small and medium enterprises, and they are the ones who don't have deep pockets to be able to sustain during this period. So although we are not able to travel to our partners, we are very clear that we are going to continue to provide support and continue to do it online. So we do very intensive remote coaching and also a number of online workshops. So we've pretty much taken what we were doing on the ground, on the operations, on the site with our teams to the online mode. Whether this is a time to relook at what your sales strategy is going to be, given the fact that what you understood as normal and the channels that you worked on are probably going to be not available to you as an organization in the coming months. So if retail was your cornerstone or your basic channel, then that's not something that's going to be available immediately. So how do you shift most of your product and your approach online? Or, if this, there is a particular market segment that you've not looked at, then this is the time when everyone's hooked onto their digital media to carve and rework your social media strategy or your communication, online communications, to make people aware of what you are as a brand. So we are doing this very intensive remote coaching series of online workshops. And of course, what we've also seen that during these times there are a lot of shared needs. So the fact that you need to pivot your strategy and see what you can do in your existing product and portfolio, and how do you ensure that you remain pertinent as an organization. So these kind of shared needs, we are doing webinars. So the first webinar that we did was on how do you ensure that you stay relevant and pertinent as an organization during these times. The second one that we did just last week was on funding. How do you explore the new alternative ways of funding that are available to you, not just in India, but outside? How do you get to know of them? So as Ronald mentioned, those resources are available. Now we are going to do another webinar on how do you ensure that your supply chain and your business continuity remains, especially for agri-value chains, because that's a product which is perishable. So we are doing a series of these webinars. In addition to that, we will continue our remote coaching and online workshops. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, we are here to learn about you. Flo can look for your expertise and your ground level realities that you come with. It's so important for us. We mean well, but we need only the right partners can help us along. So we are looking for your business partner, Anjali Singh, to join us. I think she's having a connectivity issue. In the meantime, Anjali is trying to get her, because hence we were wanting to, Women and Wings wanted to show their own business partner who's been doing work on the ground with them. But I think there's a little connectivity issue which we've not been able to connect with her as yet. However, our members have a lot of questions coming in. So maybe I will reach out and open this out to our members in the meantime. There is Rashmi. I think Anjali has just joined us. Anjali, okay. We'll invite Anjali Singh to join us. And Supriya, would you give a little introduction on her in the meantime? I think Anjali is trying to come on board.
Is she online?
I understand she's just joining us. Yes, hello. Anjali, is that you? Hello. Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see you as yet. Can you see us, Anjali? Is it yeah. Supriya, would you start talking about Anjali in the meantime? Let's try to get her again. I did see her name pop up.
Okay.
So tell us a bit about background about Anjali in the meantime.
Sure. So basically, Anjali Singh, and you'll hear a lot about her, is the founder of Jute Artisans Guild Association, which is basically a non-profit organization that's encouraging the rural poor, primarily of Barabanki and Lucknow, using jute as the raw material and the basic product. She's got a very interesting, product and supply chain in place, because normally when you talk about jute, you don't associate Lucknow of all places with it. But understanding that there is a need for a product like this, it's a sustainable product, it's a green product, and there is the possibility of linking livelihood for untrained people with untrained women with no traditional craft in certain areas in and around Lucknow, to a produce which is available many miles away, but has the capability of fulfilling a need in Lucknow, UP, and other parts of India. She took that those two links, incomplete links together and joined them and created a wonderful organization called Jute for Life. Anjali, are you there online now?
Anjali, I can see her name there, but
Okay.
not being able to. Not being able to connect, is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I can actually go on and on about Jute for Life, but
We really tell us how you started with. I mean, how long has it been the relationship with Anjali and the enterprise, and what level has it gone to? Women on Wings.
okay, so I'll ask Ronald to do that because Ronald is the account manager for Jute for Life. So as Ronald told you initially, we have an account manager approach, which basically means that, we anchor an organization's journey with Women on Wings through one person. And Ronald happens to be the account manager for Jute for Life. So Ronald, why don't you tell us about how the entire collaboration started?
Yes. Yes, we worked together with Jude for Life for 2 years now. We started in 2018. And actually, the way we work, when we start working, we do always a thorough assessment because we have a small research team which is scanning the markets every day to see if we can find the right partners to create, come to reach our 1 million, because the 1 million is still far-fetched for us. We are 278,000, so it's still a big jump to 1 million. So every day we are looking for the right partner. So Jute Artisans was one of the partners on our radar. When we start approaching these enterprises by asking some basic data about when have you been established, how many people, blah, 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 blah. Then there will be a first call from the account manager to hear the voice from the entrepreneur, to learn a little bit more about reality of the figures which were on paper. And when that sounds good, and we discuss in the team, and we decide, yes, this could be a good prospect, then we invest 2 days to do an assessment on the spot with an expert and an Indian account manager to really see the ground reality, what is happening, to discuss with the team and the entrepreneur, to talk to the women, to see the production, to see what's going on. After that, we sign an MoU. When everything is in place, we sign an MoU. And then we do the first business planning workshop. That's how we started with Jute Artisans as well, where we identify this is the roadmap for the next 3 years. And what are the major hurdles that we have to take to grow the company from 250 artisans today, 1,500 artisans in 2021.
Wonderful.
And that's the roadmap for us, and that's where we start. And then the account manager is important because then the account manager needs to stay in touch and see what is the need, what has happened, what kind of expert is required, and we strongly believe that. And it's not that we don't believe in Indian experts or Indian knowledge. What we believe, if we can bring Western knowledge, where we have gone through the cycle already from economic development, etc., where we have seen all the pitfalls, and we merge that with the local knowledge of the Indian entrepreneur, we can get the best results. So we strongly, and that's why we talk about partnerships. They are not customers, we are partners, and we walk the journey together. And
Great.
and I think the beauty from Anjali is a very, very hardcore entrepreneur, because during COVID-19 there was no production of jute. So she started Food for Life instead of Jute for Life. She started Food for Life, and she raised funds to buy ration, and the artisans cooked the food. They got money for cooking the food, so they still had some income. Instead of stitching, they were cooking food, and still they had a few hundred rupees a day income, and they were providing meals to the migrants who were stuck in Lucknow. So I think that was well, I think that's real entrepreneurship, and where we can support in developing this, whatever, we will be there. I don't know if Anjali is now online.
Yes, I think Anjali is online. We look forward to IT, if you can put the spotlight.
Yes.
Can you hear us? I think her thing is unmuted. She's muted. IT, can you? Is she muted?
Yes, she's trying to connect to your her audio.
Yes. But it seems it's muted, right? You have to unmute her. She's muted.
Probably
Well, we're
it's
getting there.
no. Okay, I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah. So, may I have our, Ronald, a lot of this organization that I belong to, 36 years here, we have a lot of past presidents who have done so much work over the years. And I would like to call upon some of them, and they all have questions for you.
Yes, please.
Rashmi, would you be able to call in maybe Neeta Butra, our past president from Jaipur? Can we have Neeta Bushra online, please, to ask her question? Neeta.
Hello everyone. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Neeta, are you here?
Yeah,
IT, IT, please put the spotlight on Neeta Bushra. IT, Chetan.
In the spotlight.
Yeah. Can you all hear me?
Ma'am, you have to switch on your camera.
It's not really. It says no.
Yes.
Well, good afternoon everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we do understand gender equality is important, not only as a human right, but as women play a key role in sustainable development. So congratulations, Mr. Ronald and Janvi, on the signing of this partnership. Congratulations from Vicky Flo and all the 17 chapters pan-India. My question is that, Mr. Ronald, your focus is on business acceleration. In these present times, what is the plan for business acceleration with Flow?
Right. I think it's a very good question in these challenging times. I think at this moment we have to be realistic. Till beginning of March, yes, we were focusing on business acceleration. I think at this moment we have to focus very much on business continuation. So how are we able, with the current set of enterprises, how are we able to sustain their business for the future? And probably after 1 year, we are able to start thinking again about business acceleration. But I think your question is absolutely valid. Um, the focus now will be on business continuation.
Thank you.
And I think that's a challenge in itself already for the coming time.
Yes, we have to get used to these new normal times and take these challenges as opportunities.
Exactly. I think that's the right spirit and the right attitude, because that's what we believe as well. In every challenging time, new ideas will come up, and these challenges we should be able to turn them into opportunities for the entrepreneurs. And I think the right entrepreneurs will be ready and will find the right opportunities again for the future. I fully agree. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is Janvi online?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So do we have a next question?
Unmute. Let's take the next question, please. Can I request Anjana Somani ji to take the next question? Can we take the next question?
Please, go ahead.
Anuradha ji, would you like to ask the next question, please?
Yes. A very good afternoon, Mr. Van Herthoff and Supriya, Jahanvi, and all in flow. Mr. Van Herthoff, I'll start by a personal note. My father was head of the embassy in Den Haag for 3 years, and I got married from Holland. So Netherlands has a very special place in my heart.
Yes,
So I'm very
wonderful.
happy to be interacting with you today.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you very much. That creates a special bond between us.
It is, it is. And Schiphol Airport was made while we were there. So it is a very, very special bond.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yeah, wonderful.
Mr. Van Herthoff, you've been here, Women on Wings, for the last 13 years. Which SME or skill development, is it textiles, food, handicrafts, which you think has benefited the most out of the interaction between them and Women in Wings? Which sector has benefited the most?
Right. Yeah, I think it's it's a nice question, because it makes me think
Thank
also
you.
about who benefited most. I think, to be honest, um, it depends on the entrepreneur, on the one who's at the helm in the organization.
Yes, yes,
If I look at the first years, it was very much pull, that we had to pull the entrepreneur and we had to pull for the questions. And that was mainly when we worked with NGOs. So we were pulling and we were pushing. We were telling them it's time for a workshop now. We should work on the next part. The ones who are pushing us to come to them. I need a workshop now. I want to work on social media. I want to increase my sales. How should I do that? I want to expand my production. I want to move up in the value chain in processing. How should I do that? These
Yes.
are the entrepreneurs who benefit most. We
Yes.
can support, but those entrepreneurs who are able to define their question and their need at the best benefited the most. And probably for us, it are not always the entrepreneurs who create the most jobs, but these are
Yes.
the entrepreneurs who create the most sustainable business. And the most sustainable business means the most sustainable jobs.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was really nice speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope to meet you someday.
Yes, hopefully when we meet personally, whenever Jahanvi organizes it, I'll
Yes.
definitely make it a point to come. Would love to meet you.
And now I understand why you pronounce my family name so well.
Yes, my husband did his MBA from Delft.
Okay, right. Yes. So there are very Dutch connections between us. Nice to hear. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Sorry, I had got lost in between, but I managed to get myself back in here. So have you, Dr. made all our past presidents and speak with some of them?
I can't unmute myself.
Okay. And sorry, I missed a lot, but I hope it was good so far. Could we get Anjali Singh in? We couldn't.
No.
No. Okay. I think if we have...
Nita is saying something, or? But she's muted.
Did Nita Bushra get a chance to speak, Nita?
And
Yes.
yes, and Anuradha was there.
Who else?
Anuradha was there.
Anjana Samiti.
Anjana ji wanted to say something, ma'am.
Yeah, let's have Anjana ji over, please. Please get her because I missed so much in between.
I'm.
Please try to get Anjana ji back. And Anjana, your view has been locked. Rashmi, just see to that.
Can we get Jayanti Dalmia before, if you're not able to get Anjana ji?
Yes, certainly. And Nita Bushra, did she get to speak?
Nita was there.
Nita ji already spoke.
I see. Okay. We would like to have Jayanti Dalmia. Go on, Jayanti.
Good afternoon. Congratulations, Janvi and Mr. Van der Hoff for signing of the interview, planning of the MoU.
Yes.
You know, it really looks very promising. India being such a, we have so many people who need jobs and who also need to work in the rural sectors. So I think
Yes.
it's going to be a great, great MoU together. We can work a lot on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. May I have Rashmi? I think we have exceeded our time. We need to present the memento to Supriya as well. Could we ask IT to show us the memento for Supriya, who's instrumental in getting us our two organizations together?
Absolutely. Very good.
Right. Supriya, this is from us to you. Thank you. Now, I think we have exceeding our time. May I ask our Senior Vice President, Ujjwala Singhania, to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Janvi. Thank you, Janvi.
Yes,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for today's session. Today is a very significant occasion for both FLOW and Women on Wings. The MoU signing opens up a new direction for us towards accelerating sustainable livelihood for women in India. I would like to thank Ronald Van Hoff, Managing Director of Women on Wings, for being with us today and virtually signing the MoU. Your vision towards working with FLOW in providing professional business consultancy services and mentoring to Indian social enterprises operating in the rural India will enable sustainable livelihood and employment generation for women in rural India. FLOW is proud to be the key player in this area. Our sincere thanks to Ms. Supriya Kapoor, Senior Business Consultant, Women on Wings, for being a part of the panel today and sharing her inputs with us. A big thank you to Anjali, founder and CEO at Jute Artisan Guild Association from Lucknow. Jute Artisan and Women on Wings started partnering in 2018 to provide consultancy in the field of production, record keeping, finance, branding, and marketing. Anjali Singh is also a FLOW awardee for being an outstanding woman entrepreneur. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I am sure FLOW and Women on Wings will make a huge difference together in the vision of promoting grassroots entrepreneurs and helping women workers therein becoming economically independent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So to sum up, thank you very much. IT, can we have the Mr. Ronald back? IT, spotlight on Ronald here. So
spotlights.
You spoke very well, and we learned. There's such a learning for us, and we hope that we can go a long distance together, working for, and we want to make our country an Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we will take help of Women on Wings and FLOW and go towards enabling a sustainable livelihood for our women of India. Thank you very much, Ron, for your time, and deeply appreciated from all of us at FLOW today. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Janavi. It was absolutely my pleasure. And please realize that we feel very honored that we signed this partnership with Vicky FLOW as well. And I think we really have to work on how to materialize this MoU into creation of jobs. I think that's a call to all the heads in all the different regions or districts, how you call it, to keep focus on potential partners for Women on Wings, how we can support these enterprises in their growth. We don't know all the enterprises, but I think we have to find a way that they will be aware of our platform, that they will be aware of our organization, what we can do for them, and see how we can really materialize this MoU. And it's not only understanding, but it's also executing and creating impact together. That's what I really, really hope. And thank you very much. And Janavi, I really admire your desire and your commitment to make this happen. And that promises a lot for the future for us as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you and namaste. Goodbye.
Namaskar. Bye-bye. Thank you.